Welcome to the French Newfie. I'm Erin MacDonald. Today I'm going to be making for you a delicious gazpacho with seared tuna topper. Now this recipe originated in Spain. It's a chilled soup basically, so let's get on with it. So I just have this beautiful strained tomatoes. I'm gonna get that into my blender right away. A lot less work to buy this, and these are extremely fresh when they're packaged, so there's nothing wrong with using these boxes of tomatoes. Just make sure that there's no salt and sugar content, because I'm going to be adding my own. And while that's hanging out, I'm going to get on to some basic vegetables. And cucumber is classic for gazpacho. So I'm using an English cucumber, and I like to use the English cucumber because you can eat the skin and the seeds are really small. So what I've done is just taken off the top and the bottom, and then we're going to just open it up like this and take a spoon and take out some of the seeds. Now, as I said, you can eat the seeds and leave them in, but I'm just gonna take a few of them out. So take your spoon and just go like this and scrape it just like so. And you can see it comes out very easily. So just get that off to the side for a second while I move on to the second one. Perfect, just like that. And let's get some of this out of the way. And then we're going to be dicing it, just a rough chop. It's going to be all broken down into the blender, so you don't have to worry about getting the perfect chop or cut. So just once again, 1 by 2, and then 1 by 2 here. And then we're gonna dice it, just big chunks like that. I like to have my gazpacho actually quite chunky with texture. And when I learned how to make gazpacho in culinary school, they use bread to thicken it, but because I'm gonna have all of these vegetables, there's gonna be lots of texture, and I'm just gonna leave the bread out of this recipe, out of mine. So let's get this down as well. Perfect. And we're gonna move on to some peppers. And I like to use red and yellow. Some recipes call for green, but I'm gonna be using the skin of the green cucumber. And I like to keep that bright red, delicious color of the gazpacho. So I'm gonna leave the green pepper out this time. So just take off the head of the pepper. And an easy way to get the inside out is to cut it down the center, just like that, and then just carefully watch your fingers take out the center just like that. And again on the other one, bring it around, make your life easier, and take that center out just like so. And now I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did with the cucumber, a rough chop. Again, it's going into the blender, it's all gonna be diced up really nicely. So just a quick chop down like this. Again, turn it on its side, and some more chops. Again with this yellow one. I love yellow and red peppers. I love the brightness and the freshness that comes from it. The taste is beautiful, and it really adds to the gazpacho and the tomato puree. It's really wonderful. So get that down in the blender. And then we're gonna move on to our beautiful bright red pepper. Look at that color. I love red pepper. Red pepper is absolutely my favorite. Let's chop it down the center and take the inside out. Again, be careful for your fingers. Same thing that we did with the yellow, just a rough chop. Get all this down, and beautiful and fresh. It's gonna be so bright and yummy. Okay, almost done. One more little piece. There we go. And into our blender like this. And some other usual suspects and some not so usual suspects are going into my gazpacho today. Red onion, I love red onion. It gives the gazpacho a nice little bite, so we're gonna get that down as well, just like that. Garlic, a lot of people don't use garlic in the gazpacho, but I really like the garlic, so I'm putting it in. If you don't like garlic, leave it out. And of course, I can't forget my heat. I'm a spice girl, so I have chili pepper that I've just chopped up. I'm only using one because we don't want it to be too spicy. It is a drink, a soup after all, so get that in. And now there's a couple more things that have to go. But first of all, what we want to do is to blend this up. Not too much, as I said, because we're going to leave it a little bit chunky for texture. So I'm going to get this going, and we're going to turn that on just a couple of pulses until everything comes together. It's beautiful right now. It didn't take long at all. That was less than a minute. And you can watch it to judge the texture and to see that there's still some pieces of all those good vegetables, yummy vegetables. Now we're gonna move on to a couple of other ingredients. We really like to use some vinegar, and I like to use balsamic vinegar because it's a little bit sweeter. So I have some balsamic vinegar. We're gonna get a little bit of that down. And some sugar, not too much, because as I said, that balsamic vinegar is very sweet. So a pinch of sugar is all I'm gonna put in. And of course, we're gonna be tasting it later, so if it needs more, just add more to your liking. And salt, you have to have some salt. There was no salt in those strained tomatoes, and of course none in the vegetables, so you need to add some salt. I'm gonna add a little bit for now, and then a little bit of pepper. Also, a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. This is gonna be served fresh, so you wanna use that extra virgin olive oil, the good stuff. So get a little bit down into there, just a little bit. And now we're gonna turn it back on, not for long at all, just to get the balsamic vinegar, the salt, the pepper, and the olive oil incorporated. Voila, and that is done. Now I'm gonna let that hang out for a minute, and we're gonna move on to our beautiful tuna. It's beautiful and pink and fresh, and I'm just gonna get my burner turned on. I'm gonna put it on medium, but not on low, because we wanna have a fast sear for this tuna. I want my tuna to be nice and medium rare inside. It's gonna be beautiful, and in my opinion, that's the way it should be enjoyed. So we're gonna get some nice olive oil down into the pan. I'm gonna use extra virgin olive oil for this one, because I'm not gonna be cooking it for long. Just a little bit down like that. Swirl it around, and just leave it there for a second so that it gets nice and hot. Again, I'm gonna take the olive oil, and I'm gonna put it over the tuna, just a little bit, and you gotta get your hands into this. So smear it on, just like that. And again, go around to the other side, lap it up like that, and salt and pepper. I like to taste my tuna, so I'm not gonna add a ton of spices, but you need to have salt and pepper to bring out that beautiful flavor of the tuna. So just rub it in a little bit like that. Again with the pepper, nice cracked black pepper. Just like so. And then turn it over, and it's gonna go onto your board, and then turn it back over again. This is beautiful. I love tuna. It's nice and fresh. And on top of the gazpacho, it's gonna be a little extra protein, so you're gonna get a nice bite. It's quite the nice appetizer, or even for a nice lunch in the afternoon. So now, I'm just gonna make sure that my pan is hot. It looks good to go. Turn up the heat just a little bit more. Keep going. We're gonna get that into the pan. And that's gonna just take a couple of minutes on each side. As I said, I want it to be really nice and pink and bright and medium rare into the middle. So let me just clean up my hands and get my station going. So I picked out 2 martini glasses, and I just like the presentation of the martini glasses. I think it's really pretty for putting your gazpacho in. And I also want to taste the gazpacho. You need to taste it for seasoning. And this is a good time while I'm waiting for the tuna. If I need to add more salt, or if I need to add anything else, I can do it then. So just a quick taste of this. Wow, it's so fresh and delicious. I can taste every one of those vegetables individually. It's perfect. And I don't need to add any more salt. I've nailed it this time, perfect. So let's just get it off and put it into our martini glasses. Let me try not to make a big mess here. It's always a challenge for me. And be generous with it. You want it to come right up to the rim. You can see the texture. It's standing on its own. It's delicious. Oh, there I go, making a mess as usual. There you go. Hold it back a little bit. You don't want that juice to splatter onto your nice dress. Get this off to the side. And I'm gonna give my tuna a flip now because I can see that the color is coming up beautifully. Turn it over. Look at that. And you can see the pepper and the salt, and you can still see that when you cut into it, which I will do, it's gonna be a beautiful medium rare. Turning off the heat right now. And we're gonna take beautiful seared tuna, the fresh tuna, and get that there. Perfect. And I'm just gonna pat it a little bit because you wanna get the excess oil off of the tuna. It's just like that, and you can see it's coming off really nicely, just so that it's not so oily. Pat it down, perfect. And flip it over onto your board. Look at how pretty that looks with the pepper. I love it. Beautiful. So now what I'm gonna do, I have a couple of skewers, and I'm just going to slice it so that way I can push it onto the stick. And I want a good chunk, but I want to have the color of the inside of the tuna to be visible as well. So I'm doing 2 today, so I'm going to cut it straight down through the center, just down like that. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my God, my mouth is watering right now. Beautiful, and that is delicious like it is. I love steak tartare, but I also enjoy a nice medium rare steak. It's absolutely delicious. And I'm just going to take my skewer and go up, try not to break it because it is quite flaky. If I cooked it all the way through, this would be impossible, which is another reason why I left it the beautiful pink medium rare. And just for appearances, this is something you're not gonna wanna eat. I'm gonna take one of my beautiful red peppers and poke it down through, go up through the bottom, and just get it onto the skewer as well. A little bit of effort here. And there you have it. It looks so pretty. I'm gonna do the other one, and then what you wanna do is put it into the beautiful gazpacho. That is a lunch in itself. So let me grab the other one. And the same thing, the same method. Through the bottom, either side. You wanna get it into the middle so it doesn't come off. And then again, with a nice, beautiful red chili pepper to go. Put it through the side with some effort and up through the top, just like that. It's so pretty. And I can't wait to eat this later. Now the thing that you wanna do, because gazpacho is a cold soup, you need to refrigerate this. And that's a great thing. If you have people coming over, you can do this ahead of time. So get this into your refrigerator for an hour at least to get it nice and cold. But you don't want it to go in the fridge more than an hour because you want your tuna to stay nice and fresh. And traditional gazpacho is usually topped with cucumber or some type of vegetable, but today it's the beautiful seared tuna. I'm just gonna give it a squeeze of lemon, pop it into my refrigerator, wait for my friends to show up, and I think we're gonna have a great afternoon with this tuna gazpacho. I hope that you give it a try.